Well, hello, everybody. So happy you were able to join us today. And Mama Callie and I have a special invitation for you today. We're really, really excited about it because we've never done this before. Now, when you look back over the last 13 years or so, Pastor Callie, we've been doing some stuff,
Yes, we have.
but not this, not this. So I want to extend this invitation to any woman on here who is really feeling the call of God on their life to lead in this season, whether that be in revival, reformation, maybe a little bit of both, maybe a lot of both. And, we've been talking about this. You've been talking about this on your prayer cast, and we've been all over the place saying, listen, America is in a serious situation right now, and God is sending women to flip this thing around. God is doing it. He's sending women, and all we have to do is say yes. But one of the things I've noticed, Pastor Callie, before we announce what we're inviting them to, what I have noticed in just a couple decades of being in ministry and business and family and raising 5 kids and, all the things, the thing that I've noticed across the board is that God will move powerfully through surrendered people. He'll just do it. I mean, I've seen him move through the least likely, the most likely. It's just crazy. When somebody says yes to God, he is going to move in power. But what I've noticed is things start slowing down and coming to a sticky place, a frustrating place, and maybe even the growth stops based on this one thing, a lack of leadership.
What?
The
Yes.
leadership skills,
Yes.
right? So this is what I'm seeing, whether it be in our own organization, whether it be in our family, whether it be in our church. When we look across the board, we see God moving powerfully. But when we start having maybe growing pains, right? Because that's going to be part of it. When we start seeing maybe more problems than we want to see bump up, what Bob and I have learned over the years is that 99% of the time, maybe 100% of the time, it is really about a leadership issue.
Yeah.
And that means the people who have been given the authority to lead in the family, the business, or whatever, those people that have been given the authority to lead, that organization is going to thrive based on whether that person has been equipped and has exercised very excellent leadership skills.
Yeah.
And so that's usually where we have to go in as mechanics and start looking under the hood of an organization. And it's not like we don't see God there. It's not like we don't see people who love Jesus there.
Right.
But when you look under the hood of an organization or a family or a business or a church, usually we have to go back to the core leadership and start teaching them leadership skills. And John Maxwell talks about this, that everything, think about this, everything rises and falls on leadership.
Absolutely.
And leadership is influence, nothing less, nothing more. The ability to influence a volunteer army, the ability rather than to manage, because management and leadership are 2 different things. Management is controlling people with rules and all those things, which is usually what people start out doing. They think, okay, I'll just give my kids some rules. I'll give them this to do, and they'll all just follow the rules here. And then we bump into some resistance, and leadership is the only way through those times. So what Pastor Callie and I are going to do is we are hosting our very first ever Leading Ladies Elite Intensive.
Yes.
And this will be based around women on the front lines who want to become kingdom leaders at the highest level. So that might be you. And that's why we're inviting you on here today. So Pastor Callie, tell everybody what was in your heart when you called me about this and you said, I want to do this in Houston. And what was interesting about it, Pastor Callie, is my husband is super prophetic. He denies it, but he's always saying stuff that's like, wow, that's from heaven. And he had said to me at the same time that you called me, it was right around the same 48 hours. He said, Jenny, what I think needs to happen is I think the ladies around the nation need taught leadership, and they need to come together, and you guys need to pour into the women who are really leading or want to lead. And then you, I can't remember if it was him first or you, but it was in the same time. And I knew it was the Lord.
Yes.
So will you share what, what was in your heart? What did you sense and feel? What was God talking to you about that you felt that we should come together as a smaller group?
Well, sometimes you have to get smaller before you can get bigger.
That's
it. And we had just finished Her Voice, and it's so powerful, and so many things happen to propel us forward. And there's been so many things happening to propel us forward. But I just heard the Lord say, they're pick the finest, the best leaders that you can find, the ones that are most hungry. Begin to call them, begin to reach out to them and pull them in, because I need you to get smaller before you get bigger. I need you to pour into these ladies. I need you to they need stronger friendships. They need stronger instruction. They need wisdom. They need to know where we're going in a close. The only way I could say this where you can understand it, they need to hear y'all's heartbeat in a closer format.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. So I reached out to you, but let me say this. Since then, I've had two profound things happen that I believe this intensive, this Leading Ladies Elite intensive is going to provide us. And we really only have 100 spots. So I can't do any more than that. I would love, but I can't accomplish what God said to do with any more than that. It needs to be small. I had a dream. The first dream was that we were in a building, and Jenny, there was lots of leaders in that building, lots of voices. I was one of the voices in that building, but I heard the Lord say, get out of the building, lead them out of the building.
Wow.
And I looked at everybody and I said, we have to leave this building right now. We have to get out of this structure right now. And we began to run as fast as we could run out of the structure. We only got about 100 yards from the structure. And I heard the bomb, and I looked back and could see that the bomb hit the building, and the blast should have blown us up because we weren't far enough, but it blew us up. It should have blown us up, but we went up. In other words, we should have died, but we began to fly. I was beyond my understanding. I'm like, we're flying. We're not dying. We're going up. We're not blowing up. And that was the main thing. And then I woke up and God began to give me revelation. But here's what the Lord has shown me just within the last 24 hours. He said, we are leaving old structures.
Yep.
We are leaving old structures and old mindsets and old ways of doing things. And that is really in every facet of our life, including our ministry, including Her Voice, including our churches, our homes. We are leaving old structures and entering into a new season. And what the devil meant to destroy us is actually just going to destroy the structure, but not destroy the mantle, the mandate, the anointing, and the assignment.
That's right. That's right. That's
so
beautiful.
We have to get smaller, and we need the leaders, the ladies that know in their heart. And there's thousands of you, but there are 100 of you that know that you are called to lead on a much greater level. And we need you in Houston. Yep. September 28th through the 30th. It is going to be a Thursday night, Friday all day. We'll have a nice lunch, a nice dinner break, and then back at Friday night, and then Saturday morning from about 9 to noon, and we're done.
That's beautiful.
But it's going to be an opportunity for us to collaborate. It's going to be an opportunity for us to give you a lot of wisdom as it relates to leadership and just propelling the future, because I'm telling you, we are headed for the greatest times the church has ever seen, but some of the worst times we've ever seen in our nation. We're going through the process. We're going to go through it. I know it as sure as I know my name is Mama Callie. I know what we're headed for in the spirit. I don't have all the details, but I know in my knower. But I also know that God is equipping women to lead, and what should cause us to be destroyed will actually propel us. But we're going to have to go smaller before we can go bigger. And this is the first of many intensives where we will go smaller. I believe there will come a time that even after we go to Washington, we don't know what we're going to be facing. We don't know. I know if the women in this nation will stand in the gap, we can thwart the plans of the enemy. I know that.
Come
But
on.
I also know we're going to go through some troubled times. I believe we're going to go through things that make COVID and 2020 look like Ned and the First Reader.
Yeah.
But we are also going to see, and we're starting to see, but it's going to come on a much grander scale, the greatest revival we've ever seen in the way of souls being saved, delivered, set free, and mobilizing the army of God. But we've got to teach these leadership skills. We've got to impart you. You're going to get an opportunity to meet people that are very important to this organization that you may not even know their name. But they're very important. They were important to the beginning of this organization. They're still pouring in on the, behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have an opportunity to really learn from some voices that I believe are paramount for what's coming in America and in the church. So
Wow.
I just it's an opportunity for us to be close. You're going to get to spend a lot of time with me and Jenny. Yeah. And that might be a reward, or that might not be. I don't know, but you're going to get to spend a lot of one-on-one time. This is not a large conference where we've got, millions of speakers and we're trying to shuffle a lot of things and we're lucky to say hello to you. This is an opportunity for us to grow together, for us to strategize, for us to talk about Washington and what's coming up, for us to give you encouragement and insight on your personal initiatives and ministries that you're doing. I promise you, it'll be one of the best events and one of the best intensives you've ever been to.
Yeah, I believe that with my whole heart. I'm going to share this two things, and then we'll let you go today, but I want you to hear this. One of the things that we're going to be doing that we felt so strongly about is you'll be taking a test before you come. And this test is going to then come under one of our coaches, Shauna Damberg, and she's going to be teaching you about your strengths. Now, you might be like, oh, I think I'm pretty good at this. I think I'm pretty good at this. We're talking about the things that you were actually born with, that you may or may not be using them. And the test actually calls them talents. When you start using them and you get better and better and better at them, they're called strengths. See, a person can live their whole life with their talents and never actually make an impact on the earth. We want to make sure that you don't just know what those talents are, but we want to make sure that you understand how to activate them, engage them, because your anointing actually lies within that discovery of your strengths. And we use this with our family. We had some Bible college kids over here the other night. I was telling them about this. I said, you guys work together all the time on projects. You guys are always together. You guys really need to take this test. So they start ordering it. They're going to come over. I'm going to share more about it. Like, this is how much we believe in it. I'm here in California visiting my kids, helping them get settled for school, and all their college students are coming over here eating dinner. We're talking about this, and they're going to come back over and I'm going to teach them this, because this is something that I believe in so much. In fact, when we hire somebody to work with us, we have them go through this strengths, because I don't need to hire me. I need to hire somebody who has my weaknesses are their strengths. And so we use this whole thing to form teams. Some of you are not terrible leaders. You've just not understood how to utilize your team correctly, because you don't know their real strengths, because they don't know their real strengths. And so I would recommend, based on what I'm saying here, is that you actually look at your team, and you maybe bring 3 or 4 ladies that come to this, and together you guys can discover, if you have a team now, some of you want to have a team later. But, I'm looking at, I think Erica Espinoza, her and Manny were talking about having her come to this. And I'm like, absolutely. She runs a wellness clinic, a wellness spa, and she has a team there. And what would be so crazy, amazing, is to have her there, but to have her ladies there that work there to make sure that this place is exactly what she dreamt of when God gave her the dream of somewhere that the Holy Spirit would dwell, while women came in and be nurtured and cared for, and even got different surgeries and different treatments. But you know what that comes down to? A team that works in unity and understands each other's strengths. It's so powerful. It's so powerful that I'm recommending these 20 and 21-year-olds take this test and come back over, and I can work with them on this. This is how powerful it is. The second thing I want to share is this, is of course, go and register for this and get to hervoicemovement.com. Go to the events. When you click on events, you're going to see all the events, and you're going to see the Leading Ladies Elite Intensive right there. Now, when you register, you're going to see that we are still in the early bird for just a couple more days. Then the early bird will end and the price will go up. So if you're considering going and praying about this, go in there and look at this, because it covers your hotel stay and it covers most of your meals. You just have to get yourself there. And I believe you cover 1 or 2 dinners. I'm not sure. It's actually just a couple. Okay. My point is that we're going to take care of the lodging once you get there, and all of the workshops and the materials that you'll receive when you come. Anybody that's ever been to an intensive with us, in the comments, will you just put like a word or two to describe your experience? Because they are life-changing. You can't leave the same. Trust me. I'll end with this. So Bob, my husband, I respect him so much. Again, he has incredible, he's incredibly prophetic. He's prophetic from a massive visionary level, not a detailed level. And the other day he said to me, Jenny, and I don't know if I told you this, Pastor Kelly, but it was really profound to me. He said, Jenny, I see this ministry of these women that are charging forward to change the nation, and the Mordecais, sending the arrows out. He said, I see this ministry is like if Catherine Coleman and John Maxwell had a baby. He goes, that's this ministry. And when he said that, I was like, there it is again. That's confirmation that we must teach leadership. Because not that Catherine Coleman didn't have great leadership, but my point is sometimes people think you have to choose. Are we going to be a signs and wonders ministry? Are we going to be a falling out ministry? Are we going to be a tongue talking ministry? Or are we going to be more leadership oriented?
Can be both.
They're not meant to be separated.
Oh.
Leadership must be learned by every mother, father, business person. In fact, there's something called leading from the middle that I found out is a skill that has to be learned. That's when you are not the head person, but you're somewhere in the middle, and you have to learn how to follow, and you have to learn how to lead other people. And that's a tricky place to be. It's called leading from the middle. So anyway, it's going to be super exciting. I love leadership because it will transform your life. It will transform your family. You as a mother need to know how to do all this, let alone a business and a ministry. So we're inviting the first 100 people that register. We're inviting you to come, rub elbows with us, get in the room with us. And we want to be able to pour into you in a great way so that you can launch out of there in confidence, because that is the one thing that most of you are lacking, is the confidence to go forward. Leadership gives you confidence, and we want to unlock that confidence inside of you. And I believe wholeheartedly that's going to happen. So you see the details there, September 28th through the 30th, Houston, Texas. We want you to be there. Go to hervoicemovement.com for more details. Make sure you register. Any last words, Pastor Kelly?
I just want you to know you're going to have a ton of fun. We're going to have a ton of laughs. We are going to have some ministry as well, but we're going to learn some things that are going to help us. And I really saw this 100, like a company of women that God is going to use to really help us as we go to lead and revolutionize our nation. You got to start with Gideon's army, and the Lord said, go smaller, because you're getting ready to go really big and pull in these leaders. You know who you are. You know who you are. So just go on and make it a priority and come on. We love you so much. We'll see you there.
Okay, we'll see you there, you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on today. Have an amazing weekend. God bless you. We love you so much.
Love you.